AAVSB stands for the American Association of Veterinary State Boards. AAVSB is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation whose purpose is to assist and facilitate the public protection mission of its members, regulatory boards in veterinary medicine. The AAVSB's mission is to reliably provide quality resources and accurate information for veterinary regulatory agencies and professionals and allied groups in the interest of public protection. In keeping with its mission, AAVSB delivers quality, relevant programs and services that provide great benefits to the members.
So exactly who are the members of the AAVSB and what do they do?
Regulatory boards and agencies, which are oftentimes referred to as governmental licensing boards, are created and empowered to protect the public through the enforcement of the Practice Acts regulating the practice of veterinary medicine. These licensing boards exist to protect and safeguard the well-being of the citizens and animals within their jurisdiction. Currently, the AAVSB's membership, who we refer to as the member boards, includes the licensing boards in all of the United States, the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and 5 Canadian provinces: Alberta, Ontario, British Columbia, Prince Edward Island, and Saskatchewan.
Who governs the AAVSB and how do they operate?
The AAVSB's programs are developed through the collective, organized effort that occurs via membership in the AAVSB. The member boards have direct input and formally set policy and direction for the AAVSB by submitting resolutions, nominations, and bylaws amendments, and by appointing voting delegates who elect the AAVSB Board of Directors and vote on other important matters at the annual delegate assembly. The AAVSB Board of Directors are elected volunteers responsible for the overall governance of the AAVSB, and the executive director is responsible for managing the organization.
It sounds like the AAVSB and its members do important work, but since I'm not a member, why should I care about what the AAVSB and its members do?
Consumer protection is everybody's business. The AAVSB's member boards safeguard the health and safety of their citizens and animals by ensuring only qualified persons are licensed to provide veterinary care and that incompetent or unethical practitioners can be identified, sanctioned, or removed. They carry out their mission of public protection in a closely connected environment that includes licensees, veterinarians and veterinary technicians, the profession in general, and the public at large. Since the AAVSB provides programs to enhance the member board's ability to carry out their public protection mission, anyone involved in the veterinary profession, as well as consumers and the general public, should have an interest in the activities of the AAVSB.
Do I contact the AAVSB if I have a complaint about a veterinarian?
No. The AAVSB has no enforcement authority. You need to contact the licensing board in the jurisdiction where the problem occurred. The licensing board has the authority to review the complaint to determine whether a violation of a law or regulation may have occurred. The AAVSB's website, aavsb.org, contains a list of licensing boards and agencies to help you get to the right place. The AAVSB website also contains Look Up a License contact info so you can verify that a practitioner is licensed. There are several core programs that the AAVSB delivers. Let's briefly summarize them. We'll go into more detail about each program in separate videos. First, the VTNE. The VTNE is the Veterinary Technician National Examination. This high-stakes exam is owned and administered by the AAVSB and is used to evaluate entry-level veterinary technicians' competency to practice and be credentialed. The VTNE is protected under applicable intellectual property rights, including copyright protection, and exam security is very important to the AAVSB. Most states and provinces require a passing score on the VTNE as one criterion for licensure. The exam is constantly reviewed and updated by content experts to ensure that the test is a valid tool.
Wait, I'm confused. So the AAVSB licenses veterinary technicians?
Actually, the AAVSB does not license, certify, or register veterinarians or veterinary technicians. Each jurisdiction follows their own process for licensing. Remember, the AAVSB exists to support the licensing boards but has no legal authority over the practice of veterinary medicine. One of the most important services an association of licensing boards like the AAVSB can provide for its member boards is a uniform examination program such as the VTNE. The AAVSB undertakes rigorous procedures to ensure the validity and defensibility of its exam program. Let's take a look at some of the other AAVSB programs that exist to enhance the public protection mission. The RACE program. RACE stands for the Registry of Approved Continuing Education. The purpose of the RACE program is to develop and apply uniform standards related to providers and programs of continuing education, or CE, in veterinary medicine. The goal of RACE is to ensure that all RACE-approved material meet appropriate standards of quality CE. Most of the AAVSB's member boards require their licensees to participate in a specified amount of CE to remain licensed, and most member boards rely on the RACE program. VIVA. VIVA stands for Veterinary Information Verifying Agency. VIVA is a centralized database of veterinarian and veterinary technician licensing and credentialing information. This database helps member boards verify information such as national exam scores, license history, education, and reported discipline. VIVA also offers an exam score transfer service for veterinarians and veterinary technicians that wish to obtain a license in a new jurisdiction, and a credential service whereby the AAVSB collects all of the credential information required by the member boards for veterinary licensure. The PAVE program. PAVE stands for the Program for the Assessment of Veterinary Education Equivalence. PAVE is designed to evaluate the education equivalence of international veterinary graduates of non-accredited veterinary programs outside of the U.S. and Canada, on behalf of the participating member boards. The PAVE certificate fulfills one component for licensure in jurisdictions that recognize this certification. PAVE certificate holders must also meet additional statutory criteria depending on the jurisdiction's requirements in order to be licensed.
What else does the AAVSB do?
In addition to the 4 core programs, the AAVSB offers other member services such as forums on My AAVSB and the Practice Act Model, or PAM, which is offered as a resource to its member boards. PAM reflects a national perspective and the current thinking on professional regulation, and one of its goals is to facilitate greater standardization of terminology and regulation among jurisdictions. The AAVSB also holds an annual meeting and conference that brings together the member boards and anyone else interested in veterinary regulation to collaborate, educate, and network. The AAVSB also stays connected to the member boards and those interested in regulation through its biannual newsletter, Veterinary Regulation News, and through its various social media outlets.
Why should I connect with the AAVSB and follow AAVSB's social media?
Remember, consumer protection is important to everyone. The state licensing boards safeguard the health and safety of their citizens and animals in their jurisdiction, and the AAVSB helps them accomplish their mission. So, the information that the AAVSB has to share is relevant to the member boards, veterinarians, veterinary technicians, educators and students in veterinary medicine, allied organizations, and members of the general public interested in learning more about regulation in veterinary medicine. Connecting with the AAVSB will allow you to be up to date on the AAVSB's programs and services, events and news, interesting topics in regulation, exam changes and deadlines, and more. Stay tuned